there's really no need to rush into if perhaps you have been recently engaged to someone you're intended. Congratulations, first of all. But secondly, there's no need to rush into doing all types of domestic things. I noticed that people, first of all, when they say that they're getting engaged, they become engaged to one another, they move in with one another. And that seems like the wrong move to make. And it's not a judgment. Please don't write and tell us you're judging us, blah, blah, blah. It's not about a judgment. It's about wisdom. But they either move in together, making one excuse or another, saying that they're saving, but for a wedding or whatever, and that's not necessary to do. It's not necessary. Then, if they're whether they're moved in or not, they still might start. The woman is cooking for him and calling him baby and he's my king, he's this, he's that. But you're not even married yet. You're just fiance and fiance, first of all. So all of that other stuff, I mean, if truly you're going to get married, then you have plenty of time for all of that in your marriage. Why don't you just wait for that time and you get to, and in the meantime, you get to know one another. You come to know one another, and then another thing that's important is that individuals, they say they're getting married, but they never set a date. I mean, if you really don't set a date, how serious are you about getting married? And then sometimes men, you have to be very, very careful. Men, and no disrespect to men, brothers, guys, gentlemen, but some men are out there, they're just deceivers. So what they do is tell you they're going to marry you just to string you along. But get a date set. If it's 2 months out, 4 months out, 6 months out, set a date and get it done. What are we waiting for? What indeed are we waiting for? Like I said, there's plenty of time for all of the marriage, in the marriage, all of the marital things inside of the marriage, all of that other stuff, you should not really, you should just leave that to the wayside until you are really married. For several reasons, because a lot of times people don't really wind up getting married in the first place, and two, then people wind up really getting hurt behind it because they say, "Oh, I've given my all to him or her. I put all of my efforts into this, blah blah blah." But why are you putting all of your efforts into something that is not yet something? Let it be a marriage first, then put your all into it. And then there are stages. What is in your engagement, or what you put into your engagement is one thing. What you put into your marriage is a total another thing. So let's be wise, use wisdom in these matters. And again, what I was going to say about the marriage, weddings don't have to cost that kind of money. There's no such thing. These things have just come about. All of this fairy tale kind of wedding type of thing, and these themes, that have been occurring in the last 10, 15 years or something like that, are really just very exorbitant. They take up a lot of your money that you could be using for something else. And I mean, why go into a marriage in debt? What we did in our day, a lot of us, we went to the courthouse. We went to the courthouse, had our court wedding, and if we desired some type of reception, we'd have a little hall. Halls didn't cost that much, and everybody brought a dish or something like that. And that's how that went. Somebody helped decorate, and I'm not saying have and that doesn't mean that it has to be poor or broke down or anything like that. A problem is in our life what we have is pride. There's no need to be prideful about your marriage. If that's what you can do what you can do. Don't worry about what others have to say about how you had your wedding. Have the wedding that you like and that you want, but don't go spending so much money and having so much stress and causing stress on other people also in the meantime, just to have a wedding. A wedding is a one-day event. A marriage is a lifetime. Okay, let me say that again. A wedding is a one-time event. A marriage is a lifetime, and there's much investment, blood, sweat, and tears that must go into it in order for it to survive, last, thrive, be healthy. Okay, so we'll talk more about that. Go ahead and leave your comments down in the comment section, because I just, I saw someone saying something about their king and what they're making for the person and whatever, and they're not even married yet. I mean, you're not even married yet, and you're talking about all of this. And then the problem is when, another thing, thank you, Holy Spirit. Another thing that happens is that, because we're human beings, we have flesh, and although we have our strengths, we also have our weaknesses. And sometimes when you're left alone, you and that handsome man, or you and that lovely figured woman, gal, what happens is our flesh could get weak, and we wind up falling and having premarital sex that we were trying to stay away from. It's best to stay away from premarital sex, because sex is for marriage. People don't understand why, but there's so many things that happen within a sexual relationship that's outside of a marriage. So many emotions, so many feelings, so many bondages, and the like. So I just want you to be careful and be mindful of that. And I understand sex is a wonderful thing, and it's a wonderful thing to be enjoyed within the confines of a marriage. It's better. It's better in so many ways, on so many levels. So let's be careful of that. So like I said, let's leave our comments down in the comment section. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and I will be leaving our other our other channels and Facebook information down in the description box. And if you are interested in being a contributor to our distinct domestic abuse and relationship topics Facebook channel, Facebook page, go ahead and leave that information down in the comment section, or it'll be better if you email us at for domestic relationships at gmail.com. Anyway, I'll leave that information in the link, or you can just look to the about section. So we love you very much. Hope this information has been helpful to you. We don't want you to make any mistakes. We don't want you to wind up in a situation where you abuse. Abuse, it does not have to be necessarily domestic abuse, violent or physical, but there are misuse of things. Anything that is misused is an abuse.